At just 22 years old, I've already pulled off something most real estate investors don't figure out until the end of their careers. I built a real estate business that doesn't just flip houses, it controls the entire pipeline. And the results, ordinary deals are turned into six-figure profits. Today I'm going to break down exactly how I was able to do this, the system I set up that makes it all possible, and why it's one of the smartest moves I've ever made in the real estate game. My company, Win Academy Real Estate, didn't even start as a real estate company. Originally, it was just a call center. Our job was to generate real estate leads, then sell those leads to investors. Sometimes we'd put properties under contract and then flip the contract to another buyer, aka a wholesale. Now, there's money in that, but here's the problem. When you're selling leads, you're giving away the biggest part of the profit. The investor who actually buys, renovates, and sells the property is the one cashing out, not the person who just passes the lead along. Think of it, I guess, this way. If a property deal makes $80,000 profit, after a renovation, the call center might only get $5,000 or $10,000 for passing the lead. Not bad, but we're leaving tens of thousands of dollars on the table every time. And before anybody sits here saying, "Oh, Sai, well, you're not the one taking the risk, so why would you get more of the capital?" Well, you're exactly right, and that realization set the stage for a major pivot for me. Instead of staying in that lane, I took a bold step. I launched a new real estate company called Blueprint Partners Realty LLC, with Win Academy owning 50%. Blueprint was created as a joint venture between Win Academy and my partners. By keeping the entire real estate process in-house, we could acquire properties, manage renovations, and resell them all under one roof. That meant no money leaked out to outside contractors, agents, or even brokers. Having a dedicated LLC also separated this business from the old call center model. It allowed Win Academy to co-own the company 50% with the partners, giving everyone equity in the deal instead of just commissions. Through Blueprint Partners, we could work directly with mortgage brokers, the hedge funds. This opened up millions of dollars in private lending and warehouse line of credits, something we never could have accessed as just a call center. By running deals through Blueprint Partners, we kept profits from leads, real estate sales, contractor savings, and financing margins all in one place. Instead of being the middleman, we became the end-to-end owner of the deal. When a company takes ownership of the entire process from start to finish, it's the same playbook billion-dollar corporations use. Take Amazon. Why don't they just sell products? They own warehouses, trucks, planes, and delivery drivers. Why? Because if you control the entire process, you keep all the profits and eliminate the bottlenecks. And applying that strategy into real estate at a startup level, incredibly smart. This isn't just a theory, it's already playing out in my projects. Right now, I've got an entire neighborhood under contract with a total value of $1.7 million. That's not one house, that's multiple properties bundled into a single deal. On top of that, I'm holding 5 more properties, each worth around $300,000. And here's the crazy part. I can show you these properties openly because everything is locked in under my system. Normally, a young investor would need to lean on a realtor for this kind of deal flow, but here's where it gets interesting. I'm not even a licensed realtor in the US, so how do I have these properties under contract? Simple. I leverage relationships. One of my partners is a vice president at a mortgage company. His role is critical because he opens the door to capital. He secures funding, not just from local banks, but also from the hedge funds. That's a huge advantage. While most investors are stuck begging for loans from hard money lenders at double-digit interest rates, I get access to institutional capital at a much cheaper term. More money, faster approvals, fewer headaches. The second partnership is equally powerful. This partner is a general contractor who agreed to run renovations at cost. Here's why that matters. Say a renovation normally costs $100,000, including the profits for the contractor. My contractor, since we're in a partnership, we take off typically about 40% per job. So meaning he's doing it at cost. He's not adding his fees in. It's simply just paying for the workers and the material. So to another person, what the renovation might cost $100,000 is going to cost our company, give or take, about $60,000, $70,000. In real estate, renovations are often where investors lose money. Costs run over, contractors charge premiums, delays eat into profits. By locking in a trusted partner who's invested in the success of the whole business, I eliminate that whole risk and protect my margins. This setup completely flips the traditional model on its head. Normally, contractors and brokers get paid no matter what. If the flip goes sideways, they still walk away with their check while their investor eats the loss. But in my structure, everyone wins. When the deal wins, the alignment motivates the entire team to squeeze every ounce of profit from each property. One of my boldest moves was leveraging subject to financing. For those who don't know, a subject to deal is when you buy a house but leave the seller's mortgage in place. You take over the payments, but the loan stays in the seller's name. It's a creative way to acquire property without needing new bank approval. I used the strategy to scoop up every property where the seller was behind on payments. Instead of bringing in a bank or shelling out cash, I simply caught up their arrears and took over their loan. The monthly payment was $1,200, but the house rented for $1,800. That's $600 a month in cash flow without ever qualifying for a new mortgage. And here's the long-term play. The property appreciated. 5 years later, the house was worth $100,000 more than when I took it over. All of that equity, plus the rental income, flowed straight into my company. It's moves like this, smart, creative, and efficient, that separates Blueprint Partners Reality from traditional flippers. At first glance, it's tempting to chalk success up to hustle or luck, but when you zoom out, you see it's really about structures. Most investors operate like freelancers. They're always scrambling for the next deal, always depending on someone else's money, someone else's contractors, someone else's agents. That's why so many of them burn out. I decided to change it up. I learned from watching, so I built systems, not a hustle. Every part of the pipeline feeds into the next. Leads from the call center go into Blueprint. Funding flows from hedge funds, rehab is handled in-house, profits are reinvested, and the machine keeps turning deal after deal. It's the difference between being a guy with a hammer and being the owner of the construction company. One is trading time for money, the other is building wealth on autopilot. Blueprint Partners Reality isn't just a real estate company. It's my blueprint for how young entrepreneurs can think differently. Instead of rushing into the game trying to do one deal at a time, I asked myself, how do I capture every part of the value chain? That mindset shift is what turned a call center into a hustle, into $1 million machine. By the way, if you guys enjoy this kind of content, make sure to drop a like and subscribe down below. Back to the video. And here's what makes it even crazier. I'm only 22 years old. Most investors don't figure this out until their 40s or 50s after years of trial, error, and expensive lessons. If I can scale this structure, adding more hedge fund partners, expanding my contractor network, and building out property management, there's literally no limit to how big this could get. We're talking not just about flips, but long-term rental portfolios, commercial projects, maybe even development. So what's the takeaway for you? It's simple. Control the process. The more steps you own, the more profit you keep. Build strong partnerships. Don't just hire people. Align incentives so everyone wins together. Think in systems, not hustles. One-off deals can make you money. A structure can make you wealthy. At proving you don't need decades of experience to play big in real estate. What you need is a vision, a strategy, and the guts to build something that cuts out the middleman and keeps the value in-house. Because at the end of the day, success in real estate or in any other business doesn't come from grinding harder, it comes from designing smarter. And that's exactly what Blueprint Partners Reality is all about. If you guys enjoyed this information, want to learn more, I'm going to drop a link down to my new book I just released, Currency of Mindset. And if you also like this information, guys, please like this video, drop a comment, and hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys soon.